a passion inside. Heaven knows I'm living my dreams. As I look upon my life, there's a passion inside. Heaven knows I'm living my dreams.
Good morning, Insights family, and we are here once again on our Thursday. I'm so glad that you've taken the time to log in and connect with us today. If you haven't already, please subscribe, click the like button, and please share this podcast to anybody you think needs some insight in their lives. Today, we are very excited to be having this conversation. And there is a bit of irony when it comes to the conversation that we're having today. Today, our conversation is scheduled to be about gratitude, but we are going to venerate some very crucial and relevant issues that you and I, as South Africans, are currently experiencing. We can't live in a gratitude bubble, so we're going to unpack as to how is it that we can look at reality, that we can look at our current circumstances, that we can face them head on and still maintain an attitude of gratitude. Today in the studio, we have Violet and we have Lady S, as she goes by, hashtag disruptor, hashtag influencer, hashtag very fabulous person. And so the studio has a very tangible energy, and we are definitely going to get into those issues and maintain an attitude of gratitude. Yes. And so I'm going to ask our host just to say hi and what's up to you, and please enjoy and stay tuned on the show. Vi?
Hi, I just want to say good morning, everybody. It's such an privilege, an awesome privilege for me, I feel, to be here this morning. I think just, being alive, it gives me reason to be so grateful. So I'm excited for our topic this morning, gratitude, because it's such a vast topic. If we, as we are going to discuss, we'll find out, listeners, that there is so much in life to be grateful for. So, welcome and tune in. And also, if you have any other topics that you would like us to discuss, like burning issues, please let us know on Facebook.
Yeah, or even in the comments.
Or even in the comments. Just let us know if there's any other topics, in future that you would like us to discuss.
Awesome. Lady SS.
Oh, ladies, I'm so honored and privileged once again to be on it. It's been a long time.
Yes.
But, the busyness of busyness.
Yeah.
But I'm so honored, and I always thank God for the aura in the room. You guys just bring different elements of love and kindness and really pleasure, and that is what I celebrated in my life. And I'm so thankful and looking forward to the topic today. And thank you for allowing me to be here and just to come and learn again, because I'm always saying learning is loving. So I'm here to learn and to love. Yes. So yes, guys, have an awesome time enjoying us, and we will enjoy your comments as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And please stay alive in the comments. We would love to hear what you have to say. And speaking of our host, Joan, she has taken ill, so our thoughts and our love goes out to her.
Yes,
as always, we will miss her
Joan,
in studio.
We miss you this morning.
And I love sitting in your seat, Pastor Joan. I'm keeping it warm for you, and we can't wait to have you again.
Yes,
so to kick off our conversation, I thought that we might start with a quote on gratitude. Tony T. Bennett says, be grateful for what you already have while you pursue your goals. If you aren't grateful for what you already have, what makes you think that you will be happy with more?
Yeah.
I think those are very sobering words coming from people, namely you and I, that are going through a lot in South Africa. So I think one of the first things that we can venerate as South African and as the African citizens is that we are currently exposed to, and a lot of things have been thrown at us. It seems like all at once.
Yes.
In last week, I had a notice saying that I wasn't going to have water for a couple of days.
Oh, my word.
The load shedding schedule, as all of us will know, has just gone to 1 to 11 in what seems like a couple of weeks. But I'm exaggerating. But it's rough. It's rough out there.
It is.
So those are the things that each and every South African person is currently facing.
Absolutely.
And even the people who are slightly better off,
Yes.
are feeling the pinch of it.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
think of those that are less fortunate.
Oh, my
Absolutely.
Lord. I don't
What
even-
kind of pressure and what kind of
Yes.
strain are they currently
Yes.
living on?
Yes.
So let's chat about what are you experiencing from just the whole I think circumstances regarding our electricity. What are you experiencing on a realistic level in your house?
Yes. And like you said, even this morning, when I reflect on that, that I wake up in the morning, yes, I wake up without electricity. But then I realize, you know what, will I be bitter about it? Will I be angry about it? How do I turn that and rather make it work for me at that present moment?
Yes.
And reflect on how privileged I am
Yes.
that I wake up in a house with a roof over me, and also with like, what you call it, lights. There's some lights. What you call it, lights that LCD lights.
yes,
yeah.
yes, yes.
So at least there's a little bit of a light.
Yeah.
But now you have to get out clothes and stuff like
Yes,
that.
yes.
But then I use my phone light and I'm like, okay, let me just see what is there, whatever. But it is a frustration. But I realize also when we remain, unthankful, ungrateful with this frustration, it can cause damage to our health. It can cause damage to our emotions,
Yes.
physically. So I'd rather make a decision and say, you know what? It's happening. It's here. We're living with it. But I'm going to really channel it in a different way.
Yes.
And one of the ways that I'm also doing when there's load shedding, especially at night between 7 and 8 or 6 to 8, I'm going to the gym during that time. And at the gym, there's no load shedding.
Oh,
I
that's
take a
so
shower
nice.
at the gym.
That is so
I have my
cool.
workout. So
Yeah.
I try to find better ways
Yes.
really to
Yes.
deal with this disaster and crisis.
Yeah.
But I also realize we can be grateful within a
Yes.
disaster,
Yeah.
within a crisis,
Yes,
within
definitely.
chaos situation.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's good. So you're saying the trick is to remain adaptable.
Absolutely.
And to just to keep your vibe positive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And look at those things that you currently still have.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Vi?
Leanne, I've realized that as South Africans,
Yeah.
and if I may add, as previously disadvantaged people,
Yeah.
I think we have that built-in resilience.
Yeah, that's
so,
true.
So we just know how to cope. We just know
Absolutely.
how to make ends meet. We just know how to,
Yeah.
make lemonade with the lemons. And it's just, and sometimes I wonder if it's not to our disadvantage as well, because we accept things too easily.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Like
Yes.
this load shedding.
Yeah.
It's not a normal.
It's not to
thing.
be
It's not
accepted.
to be
Yes.
accepted. But yet we manage to just navigate through, the circumstances. When I realized that we were discussing gratitude, I Googled, what is the meaning of gratitude?
Yeah.
And I love this part. It says gratitude is one of many positive emotions.
Yeah.
So it's an emotion. It's
Yes.
something that you can switch on or you can switch it off, right? So you can choose to complain as well, right? So it's about focusing on what's good in our lives and being thankful for the things that we have. So I think in my personal life, I choose to focus on what I have.
Yeah.
On what's going right for me as opposed to what's going wrong, And I'm not gonna lie to you. This load shedding is emotionally draining as
It
well.
is.
I don't know if you guys also found that.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
It plays with one's emotions.
Yeah,
eh?
and that's the conversation I actually wanted to have, because you know
Yeah.
what? It's you two, I must say, are exceptionally positive people. That's why I
Thank
say you are great conversationists for this topic on gratitude.
Thank
But you will find that even a person who is disciplined in their emotions,
Yeah.
and I'm saying that of you two, you do still suffer the reality
Yes.
of your circumstances.
Yes.
Like, for example, you say it's strenuous and it's
Yes.
difficult in a day.
Yes.
And so for us to have, I think, a valuable conversation for people,
Yeah.
it's to explore those downtimes.
Yeah.
And what do we do in those
Yes,
moments
yes,
so
yes.
that we don't just say, oh, I'm just happy and grateful for everything.
Right,
It's
right.
not the truth.
Yeah.
We have to be disciplined, and we also have to deal with the matter with understanding,
That's
I
right.
believe.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I think the more we understand about, what is happening in our country, the more we can be immobilized mobilize to respond accordingly.
Yeah.
Because if we don't, we would just simply put our heads under the sand like an ostrich mentality and get up and say, I'm going to be positive today.
That's right.
Yeah.
But if we approach a strenuous and a difficult situation with understanding, it can help us be grateful.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because things can be a whole lot worse.
Yeah.
Definitely, and I think rightfully, as you said, sometimes it does bring frustration, but I always analyze things and ask myself, is this in my control?
Yeah.
Can I really do something about it now?
Yes.
And I think where my positivity comes from is I realize that there's nothing I can do about it at this
Yes.
present moment in
Yes,
time.
yes,
The
yes.
people that was in the big seats, they couldn't have done, they can't even do anything. So how will it serve me better
Yeah.
if
Yes.
I'm going to be, unhappy, if I'm going to be
Yes.
miserable,
Yeah.
if I'm going to complain about it?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you make your family around yourself miserable
Yeah.
Yes.
in that process,
Yeah.
And one of the ways I found what we do now as family, we have different, on my dining room table, we have dominoes, we have cards, we
Yeah.
have
Oh,
those
that's-
games.
that
So
is
we
so
found it
good.
now because of that
Yes.
one light, then we use it as family time.
Yes.
And then we
Yes.
start playing cards,
Yes.
and then we start playing dominoes, and we
Yes.
laughed, and we really just bring down the little bit of stress, because
Yeah.
at that present moment of time,
Yeah.
I was supposed to work on my research.
Yeah. So
And,
you
I,
had that
and I'm so
frustration.
frustrated, and I'm like,
Yes.
God, if I won't be able to do my research now,
Yes.
it's going to be late for submission.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Lord, what must I do?
Yeah.
And I use that time, I channel that time in positivity, then to use it with my family. So, like I said, I just ask myself, is it really something in my control? How will it serve my emotions? How will it serve the people around me?
Yeah.
Because I can throw out my
Yeah.
my toys.
Oh, yes, we
Of
can.
course you can throw the
I
toys
just
out of the
look
container.
nice. I just look nice. But I promise you, I can still throw out my toys.
I can rock out.
Ja, ek kan die hele prem uitgooi. En sê my man,
I like
oh
that
my
one.
God.
Yes,
He
and we-
think he needs to take his tablets and
Yeah.
go race. So yeah, don't look at me. I just might look nice, but it does bring frustration.
Yeah.
No,
But
it does.
I need to find a way for myself to say, what? Just get yourself together towards yourself.
Yeah, pull
But
yourself
it
towards
also
yourself.
balances things out, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it does.
When you do that, when you decide to be positive
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
and do what you
Yeah.
what you're doing.
But what I love about your example, Lady S, is that it wasn't just an attitude. There was a corresponding action and behavior that you gave to
Yeah.
it. And I would describe it almost as coping mechanisms.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's like you need to find a coping mechanism
Yes.
to
Definitely.
deal with your struggle so that
Yeah.
you can maintain gratitude.
Absolutely.
Right.
So you figured, well, there's this one light. Let's gravitate together. Let's play a game on a religie. And yes. And it really is a challenge. The other day I was, and I also like what you said, Vi.
Yeah.
You said that because you come from a previous dispensation of struggle,
yeah.
there's something in you that kicks in and
Yeah.
you are able to navigate that.
right.
And I think that's almost a life skill that
Yes.
we neglect in this day and age, especially
Absolutely.
Yes.
with our children, the millennials, the Gen,
Woo!
the Gen Vietivati.
They are spoiled, eh?
They are spoiled.
Uh-huh.
In fact, my children's godmom had them for a weekend.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think that's when load shedding, for some or other reason, her area was plagued by a really, really rough power outage.
Okay. Yeah.
And my kids were incidentally there.
Yes.
So after the weekend, to make a long story short, she came to me and she says, "Jou kinders kan nie sukkel nie." And that's the thing. You think that it's an abusive thing to make your child struggle,
true.
but it really is a life skill.
Absolutely.
It's like you have to be
It
able
is.
to weather the low times as well as you can do the high
Exactly.
times.
Yes, yes.
And so if you are a millennial or Gen Z out there, you need to learn your lessons. It's going to help you. It's going to help you. So jy kan lekker sukkel. Jy kan lekker sukkel.
That you know what that triggers for me is that when you talked about your kids now,
Yeah.
like when we moved to back to South Africa from the United States, my late mother-in-law,
Yeah.
she didn't have water in the house,
Yeah.
and so. And electricity.
Okay.
And both of them. Né? The water wasn't inside the house. So, hot water.
Yes.
So my kids would sit at the, in a little, bundled up and say,
Yeah.
I don't like this house. I don't like this house. And I realized they are spoiled.
Yeah.
They're so used to them. They don't know how to flip like we do.
Yeah.
How to immediately adapt.
Yeah.
Because we have the ability. Like I said, from the previous, the way we grew up. We
That's
didn't
right.
grow up with
With everything.
everything.
Yeah.
But because they did.
Yeah. It's
they-
like torture now.
It's torture.
Torture.
It's
Yeah.
torture. And so we like you said, we need to. I'm sure that by now they've learned, that life isn't as smooth sailing as we always want it to be.
That's
Yeah.
so true. And one
Yeah.
of the things in the end they can just throw in about the swarkry.
Yeah.
So I really had a swarkry. I told my daughter how we had to make hood in the winter, when to
Yes.
make hood, carry it
Yes.
on our head. And she was
Yes.
so fascinated. She's like, Mommy, and how did you make karu? I said, I use my jacket and I roll it and I put my karu on and then I have my hair, my hood on it and so on.
Yeah.
So what we currently doing here in Johannesburg,
Yeah.
because we told them to make a fire.
Yes.
Okay.
So what we do, we make fire, we put on a pot there with water.
Yes.
And it's like everybody wants coffee, we're sitting around the fire. We also turn it into storytelling. Because I remember my granny and grandfather and my uncle.
Yes.
Because I grew up with them and they used to do that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I try now also with the load shedding thing to always make fire. And I make it like it's fashionable. And then I
Yes.
will do an Instagram. you know. Yes. So I
We're
also
gonna-
accommodate
yeah,
them.
we're
I
gonna
also, I also accommodate them. It looks like swarkry, but it's actually not.
You are glamorizing
I'm telling
Swartkry.
you. So I think that's also ways that people can deal with it. We cannot act like we don't know where we're coming from.
Yes, yes.
You see? And I use that to my benefit.
You know what I realized as we're talking about gratitude, is that gratitude is not having things.
Abundance,
An
yes.
abundance.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's just that inherent something built in within oneself.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's almost like a choice that you make, because you find people that are on the streets that are happy,
Yes.
like they're okay with life, and then some of us can have so much, and
Yeah.
then we're still unhappy within ourselves.
Yeah.
So for me, gratitude is really just a choice. It's an emotion. It's having a positive attitude.
No, I like that. And it your attitude reflects in your behavior.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
you guys can be out there and you can make a bad situation really worse.
Yes. Right.
You can toss gratitude out the window,
Yeah.
or you can adjust yourself.
Yeah.
Employ the coping mechanisms.
Yes. Yes.
Keep your chin up,
Right.
and remember that this too shall pass.
Absolutely.
And then
I
you will
love
remember.
that.
And for those that didn't have the
Oh, I love
Swartkry resilience, you will be giving yourself a gift.
Yes.
You will be getting you'll be able to roll with the hard
Yes,
times.
yes.
So that is issue number 1 in our current affairs.
Yeah.
We've got an ESCOM issue, we've got a power issue, and we need to be vigilant. But I think along with gratitude, it also, like I said, comes with understanding.
Yeah,
So you need to think, I need to employ some of these methods, because you'll be surprised at the tension that it relieves in your house.
Absolutely.
So think yourself through a way to a solution, and then it will get better. So our second issue,
Yeah.
we are going to talk about our second issue that is concurrent, that is current, and I think it's quite relevant to us here
Yeah,
as a
yeah.
demographic. So the Employment Equity Bill has been passed, and in a nutshell, it affects the employment. I don't know, how do you say, stats, or it affects the employment of a group of people. I think it was coloureds, Indians. You more fay with it? What are the other
Coloureds and
categories?
Indians.
Coloureds and
Yeah.
Indians.
Okay.
Okay, so the Employment Equity Bill affects 18 sectors, and it is reducing our representation across 18 sectors and the provinces. So it's like, okay, so now we don't have lights. Now you're affecting our ability to become employed.
Yeah.
But there's a beautiful, I think it is a proverb that says, they tried to burn us, but they didn't know that we were seeds, or they tried to chop us down, but they didn't know that we were
Wow.
seeds.
Yeah.
So this, I think, is activating
Yeah.
that inside of us.
Yes,
So
yes.
as a certain demographic, you are now being affected by the Employment Equity Amendment Bill, which says that across the sector, there will be a smaller percentage of a requirement on that specific sector to employ you. And now, I don't know if you know this, but it's rough in the employment market.
Yeah.
It's
It is,
rough.
absolutely.
So we're telling people, remain, have an attitude of gratitude, but now we say
The
your
reality.
employment reality is gone from dismal to devastating.
Wow.
How do we get around that? How do we ask people to look at their circumstances with new filters? How do we do that? And, Sonia, we're fortunate to have you here because you work in the universities, you work with in an academic field. What are you seeing? And what can you say to our young people or our people who are in careers? What can we do? What can we do to maintain an attitude of gratitude amidst these type of employment and equity issues?
Difficulties. So I always, in the workplace currently, I'm one of those people that always stands up for equity, for equality.
Yeah.
Even the big bosses, they know me. I speak up, I voice out,
Yeah.
Unfairness. So I believe in equality.
Yeah.
So currently, sometimes you will see in the workplace also, you will ask yourself, okay, where is the equity in this division? Because everybody is in a position, but there is no colored representative, there is no, you find in some places there's not even a black representative, because the black representative is there, it's from other countries.
Okay. Yeah.
So that is the other a challenge that we are sitting with.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, so what I would say is, I'll say it on a lighter note. That's why I always said I'm not colored, I'm colored. I try to mix it, but my surname is throwing me out.
Yeah.
So
And in a serious way, because you got that Forster.
a Forster. So
Yeah.
I want to change it.
Afrikaans.
I want to
English.
change it. I want to put an M in
Yes.
front and an E at the back. So Foreste. So yes, Foreste. Then I want to put, many times when I do apply for positions,
Yes.
and market myself out there, and I can have the qualification and everything, but my surname. So
Yeah.
what I'm doing now is I on the front of my CV in my motivation letter, I will always put there, due to equity, I'm fall under the category of black.
Yes, yes.
Black African.
Yes.
And then I will make sure I make another copy of my ID, but I try to make the copy machine very dark.
I like that.
Yes. So I can include my ID copy. I'm black, okay?
Yeah.
So what you're saying in there is so true, and it's so demoralizing for our young people.
Yeah.
Because they went out there, they study, and they obtain qualifications, some maybe not, but then they are sitting and been facing with this inequality now. So what I would say is that shouldn't stop our people to keep on pursuing, to keep on, applying, to keep on knocking on doors.
Yeah.
And those who are in positions, especially colors,
Yes.
and you have senior positions.
Yeah.
You can influence
an advocate.
decisions.
Yes.
You can be an advocate,
Yes.
In boardrooms
Yeah.
for our people.
Yes.
And that is my thing, and that's why I strive to become.
Yes.
Because I want to sit in that rooms where I can speak for people.
You want to
Yes.
work so that you can have influence, so that you can influence.
That is my main focus
Yes.
of continuously studying, continuously want to grow in learning and in understanding.
Yeah.
So I can be in the boardroom and say, you know what?
Yeah.
I feel like, yes, the colored people have the color, but you got the skills.
Yes.
And I want to say,
And that's not something that anyone can take away
exactly.
from you.
And I think that is what our people needs to empower themselves now with skill.
Yes.
Because in the new world of work, we're no more going to hire just the experience. We're no more going to hire based on, it's going to be skill. That's
Okay.
gonna
I love
speak.
that.
So skill is important.
Yes.
If I need to give really a motivation or maybe encouragement or maybe a tip, it's like, empower themselves with skills, necessary skills. Go out there, search the website. What is the future jobs?
Yes.
And what skills are they going to need?
Yeah.
And then focus on that.
No, that's good. That's powerful. And I like the fact that you say, you almost pick up that you have a responsibility.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that is true, because no one got to where they are without a hand somewhere along the
Absolutely.
line.
I agree
And
with
so
you.
an attitude of gratitude says, let me pay it forward.
Yes.
Let me not be so
Yes.
quiet and silent in my comfit, but let me think about the next person, because they can also pay it forward.
That's right.
So that's how you can reflect
Just
gratitude.
let me use my resources.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we're so loaded with resources, and gratitude, part of gratitude is to be resourceful.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I feel like I've got resources, I've got influence,
Yeah.
I've got this. So why not use it?
And
to
when you are
better?
grateful, it shifts your attitude, because
Absolutely.
you move away from the scarcity mentality. Like, oh, I must just have this little for me and my family.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But when you open up your hands to give, you realize that it was an attitude that empowered you to do that.
Definitely.
No, that's power,
Definitely.
man.
Yeah.
And then Vi, you also in an interesting generation period of life. And I wondered if you had heard of this concept. It's called second careers.
Yeah.
And you find that people perhaps who are done with work or because of the pressing economic pressures, they have found themselves in positions where they have to start second careers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you are unable to just be retired and enjoy those latter winter years of your life, what do you say to those people who have to find themselves in second careers?
Well, for me, that is it's unfortunate in a way.
It is.
If you have to have a second career.
Yeah.
I think it's much easier when one can choose whether you want to have a second career. I think personally for me, it was a choice. I planned almost to have a second vocation.
Yes.
So before I completed my years in education, I studied to become a pastor in the pastoral field. So with the intention, once I'm done, I said, Lord, when I'm done with this vocation, the education, I would love to be full-time in the ministry.
Yeah.
But it must be specifically for women.
Yeah.
And I think my whole attitude was that I wanted to make a difference.
Yeah.
So I didn't see myself as I want to retire and then wait for God, to come. So I needed to just continue my life, and this was an opportunity for me. And I just wanted to add on when we were speaking about the equity and stuff like that. And Sonia, I think, mentioned something about us being there for, when God opens a door for you, when you are in a position of power, that we think of other people, that we think of our own. I'm sorry to say it that way. Please forgive me. But we have found that the apartheid era has shifted, like from one side to the other. It's just tipped. The scales is just tipped. So I've experienced in my past, working experience was, for me, it wasn't always just about the color.
Yeah.
It was about the unfortunate. If I can use an example, I opened a door for my helper.
Yeah.
Because I realized this girl has matric. What is she going to do in my house?
Yeah.
I don't want her to do house cleaning.
Yeah.
So I said to her, no, I'm going to help you because I'm going to be on a panel. I want you to apply.
Yeah.
And I'm going to help you to get into, a job.
Yeah.
And I said, Lord, forgive me, but I'm going to help this girl. And so many others that, in the workplace that if I've seen potential, I would make sure
you've extended yourself.
I'm going to extend myself by, making sure when I score you, I score you favorably.
When I win, we win.
Yes, exactly.
When one win, we win.
And I think that is the attitude that most of us should adopt.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that we are not here. I love that you're saying we become selfish, it's just for me, and this is just enough for me and I and myself.
That's right.
Yeah.
Extend yourself. Extend wherever you are. Extend your resources.
That's right.
Share your resources that you have. If because I was in education, I love to see people in education. So if I can get you into education, I'm going to help open a door for you. I'm going to help to get your child in a school, that I think is a good school.
Yeah, you're going to be effective in your area of influence.
If it's within my power.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, and I think that, for me personally, that is it also gives meaning to one's life.
Absolutely.
And I think that is why I don't feel like I'm on retirement, because I've given myself purpose.
Yeah.
I've, planned for this phase in my life.
Yeah.
To just extend my
yourself.
myself.
I was reading last week while I was busy with my studies, and I came across a quote from William Gibson, and he said the following words. He said, the future is already here, but it's not evenly distributed. And it hits me right there.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh my word. So which means it can go well with me, but if it doesn't go well with my neighbors and people around me, then it's not well yet. The future is not evenly distributed.
So true.
It's like,
so true.
How can I then? And then I start pondering, how can I make the difference? How can I strive towards that to make sure? You cannot help everybody, but just to make sure
I like
that what you have, the position you have, the place where you at, is there a distribution of your people? Is there a representative
love
of
that.
your
Yes.
people?
No,
you
I
know?
love that.
I love that.
And you know what? If you don't
Yeah.
know where to start, you can
Yeah.
really start by your immediate surroundings.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Like for example, when I never ever disconnect with the staff in my immediate surroundings. So that would be the staff of the church, it would be
Yes.
the staff at home. I never disconnect from them. I want to know what they are struggling with.
Absolutely.
Because I want to interact with them with understanding. And you know, my helper has 3 children, just like me, and I always have a sensitivity towards that because she works with my children.
Yes.
And I need to know that her children have,
Yes. Wow.
and I need to know that she has time with her children.
Wow, that's
Because
good.
how can I expect from her when
Yes.
I am not prepared
So
to give to her?
true.
We don't have to look far when it comes
Yes.
to shifting our empathy and our
Yes.
compassion.
Yes.
We look at our immediate surroundings
Yes.
and we immediately allow the people who are around us to almost inform
Absolutely.
our perspective.
Yes.
Yes.
Otherwise, we're just walking around with blinkers
Yes.
on.
Yeah.
And I think to be a grateful person, you have to have a revelation of what community means.
Yeah.
So you talk about the community in your university. You talk about
Yeah.
the community within your vocation and the people you know. And I'm saying everywhere you are, and there are people.
Yeah.
That is a community.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And if you can open up your eyes to the needs of others, you will find that you do have to give.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And even with friends, and if you have friendship, and
Yeah.
you will make sure, you know what,
Yeah.
is your family okay?
Yeah.
You know, I'm in friendship with you, Violet, but
Yes.
is your children okay?
Yes.
Is their things
Yes.
okay? You know,
Yes.
You know, maybe how can I serve somewhere? You know,
Yes.
to make sure.
Yeah.
So that you, like you were saying, you always want to make sure the people in your
your
circle,
immediate-
in your
you-
facility, they are
yes,
also okay.
yes.
Because sometimes we want to go out there.
Yes, you want to be a
Right.
missionary in Africa
Oh,
somewhere.
my
It's
word.
like go down the street.
I'm
Yes.
telling you, and you must
Absolutely.
it. So that is so profound, and
Yeah.
and that brings for me, it brings so much gratitude to me because then I can reflect again and say, you know what my friends, what my family have meant to me before,
Yeah.
and hence because of that, I can sow back in somebody's other friendships. I can sow back in other families.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and I think this past Sunday I was reflecting, and I was like, oh my God, I think about my aunts, and you know, they're not so healthy anymore.
Yes,
But
yes.
what the gratitude that I have was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, they were looking after me when my mother just came and dropped us there, and they were the people. And today they
Yes.
look like, you know, they
Yeah.
don't have it all together.
Yeah.
So they still my aunts. You know,
Yes.
I can see how can they do something now in their children's
Yes,
lives.
yes.
And that to me really brings
No, it's true.
Yeah.
And the thing is that it's not all, during a period of hard times, it's really not all bad.
Yeah.
You find
Absolutely.
you find that we can, even in our adulthood,
Yeah.
become spoilt and needy and so
Yes.
sophisticated
Yes. Yes.
and demanding
Yeah.
that we lose our humility.
Yes.
And when you lose your humility, you stop reflecting. But when hard times come,
Yeah.
you know, that prideful perch that you have set yourself up on,
Yeah.
immediately, you know, just becomes neutralized.
Yes.
And you are forced to contend with the change in your wallet. You're
Yes.
forced to contend with your bank balance,
Yes.
you know, constantly being under stress.
Yes.
You're forced to contend with those things.
right.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing when you are put in that position.
Yeah.
It's what you do with that position
Absolutely.
that is
Yeah.
going to determine how you're gonna either are you gonna prevail over the circumstance or are you gonna let it alter your character.
Yeah.
Because you find people are like sour sufferers.
Don't tell me about it.
Like you sour
It's
with
like,
suffering.
You already sour, now you suffer.
Yes.
You SS, you
Yes.
know. So it's so true what you say. I feel like so many times we can have a reason to be sour.
Yes.
We can make that choice.
Oh,
and
there's
say, I
always
can
a
be-
reason.
There's
Yes.
always a reason, you know.
Yeah.
When I just think about my workplace, I'm like, oh my God, I really love the space, but there is a reason today that I feel like I want to tell somebody off. But I just decided, you know what?
Just go
I'm
to
so
job.
grateful. I do have a job.
Yeah.
You know, just go to job.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think one of the other things that we can also do is alter our speech.
Yes.
It's like even in our home, load shedding is a conversation.
Yeah.
Yes.
The struggle is a conversation.
Yeah.
But you don't have to talk about it every day.
No.
I've just decided that
I
I
agree
don't
with
have to
you.
talk about it every day.
I agree with you. I think what we choose to do at home is to prepare ourselves.
Yes, we do.
Already I know that when load shedding is going to hit, then I'm going to either sit on my phone,
Yeah.
right?
Because you charged it just a few minutes before.
So I'm going to have to make sure that it's
Yes.
charged.
Mm.
Okay?
Yeah.
So it's almost like one program oneself.
Yes, you do.
program
You
yourself.
adapt
You've
yourself in
you
your
adapt
habits.
yourself, yeah. So then I'm going to either watch a movie or I'm going to do a research
Yeah.
or do some reading or whatever. But I'm going to use the phone or the laptop.
Yes.
So I think it's a matter of almost like psychologically preparing oneself. So you said there's not always that load shedding talk. Or I know it's time for cooking.
Yeah.
So I have to plan ahead.
Yes.
So what am I going to feed, the folks at home? So I'll try and think in the morning already, are you going to do this, buy a chicken from Woolies, or what are you going to do?
Yeah. But it must be done now.
Or make a stew, but it needs to be done within a certain time. Like I said, it's very unnerving, but it's doable to also.
Absolutely.
And I wonder sometimes if it's not because we make it doable that ESCOM keep on switching the lights. If we had run, gone to the streets already and toyed and just, maybe the things would have changed. Or don't you agree with me?
I do. Unfortunately, that's what I was saying earlier, is that trying to not have emotional responses to a crisis is helpful, because we would say, just put it on.
Yeah.
But the truth is they can't.
Yeah.
It's like we want to say
Yeah.
we'll burn schools
Yeah,
down. We're
yeah,
gonna do this stuff,
yeah.
but you're gonna put. They can't.
Right.
And that's because we can see that there was a historic lack of maintenance, historic
Yes,
corruption,
yes.
historic fraud.
Yeah.
So now we are in this
We-
catch-22. It's like we want to do something, but it's locked in time.
We're suffering the consequences.
Yes,
Absolutely.
it
Yeah,
is. We're
of-
suffering
of-
the consequences.
They weren't maintenance and stuff like that. I just want to switch again to passion. I don't know, but as part of, just doing stuff with gratitude. I watched someone the other day at High Court,
Yeah.
and sad to say, when we look at the building itself,
Yeah.
you can see
The
from what-
neglect.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord Jesus, help us. The neglect. But then on this one particular floor,
Yeah.
I needed to use the bathroom. And this lady was so proud of what she was doing. And my daughter went in and she said, Mom, you can actually eat off of this floor,
Yes.
So it just made me realize that some people still have passion, and
Yeah.
maybe in her heart she still has gratitude, and that's why she's doing whatever she needed to do, whether it's cleaning,
Yeah.
with passion, with dignity, with pride,
Yes, with a spirit of
with
excellence.
a spirit of
Yes,
of
yes.
excellence.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And I think that also ties in
Absolutely.
together with gratitude when we make do with the little that we
That's
have.
right.
Right? And I think when we also do, that, it also builds. It builds on
Yes.
on
Absolutely.
things, like, how can I say? An attitude of gratitude is just something that builds
Yes.
more
Yeah, it does.
positive things.
In fact, there's a beautiful quote that reflects
Yeah.
the sentiment of what you're conveying. It
Yes.
says, "Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not." Remember
Yes.
Wow.
that
Yes.
what you now have was once among the things that you only hoped for.
Wow.
And that is true. It's like we can become arrogant or self-sufficient
That's
in a
right.
way where you say,
Yeah.
I wish I had more, I wish I had more. But the
Yes.
thing that you have can still be taken away from you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And so there's no space for pride in
No
suffering.
ways. No
And
ways.
it
You
makes
know-
you suffer more.
So true. And what you're also reminding me of now is when you say it can be taken away from you,
Yes.
is that if we don't treasure those things,
Yeah.
that when it's no longer there, then you miss it. And I have to constantly talk to myself. So, it's not like I have it all together. You've got to. It's something you almost like you talk to yourself.
That's right.
Yeah, it's the self-talk, which we know is a normal thing, which is a good thing,
That's right.
depending on the voice
Yes.
that we listen to, because there can be negative
That's right.
thoughts in our head and there can be
Positive.
positive. So we can choose in that moment
Yes.
to,
Hence, I'm saying, happiness does not make me happy.
Yeah.
Gratitude make me happy.
yeah,
Okay.
You
yeah.
know, because If I have depend on happiness to makes me happy, and tomorrow I woke up and there's nothing to be happy for.
Yeah.
But tomorrow I woke up, I'm so grateful that I'm alive. I'm grateful I woke up this morning with my right mindset.
Yes.
I'm not using tablets.
Yes.
I'm not cuckoos yet.
Yes.
You know, I've got it all together.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful.
Yeah.
And Lord, there is a crisis, but thank God you're going to give me the sense
Yeah.
to navigate through this
Yes.
crisis.
Oh, yes.
And I just want to fill in there with the employment thing also again.
Yeah.
Yes. I want to say to people out there and to myself and youngsters, we need to make ourselves employable.
Yes.
Okay, you
I
need
like
to make
that.
you employable. You need to be
Yes.
visible.
Yeah.
You need to be
Yes.
out there. You need to say, I'm ready to work.
Yeah.
So many times also people make this bills is there, but people use it as excuse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do.
And it's like, okay, you see now we can't find job. I'm colored.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Are you visible?
Yeah.
Did you inquire about a job?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you employable?
Yes.
Wil jy werk in
Right.
Afrikaans?
Yeah, it's
That's
that
right.
accountability. Because
Exactly.
actually I'm here from you. It's like
Yes.
people, the state is not responsible for making to employ you.
Absolutely.
And that can be extended to your relationships as well. Are you lovable? Are you sociable?
Are you enjoyable?
Are you enjoyable? You know, it always falls back on you. And with an entitled generation, people don't want to rise to their challenge of
Yeah.
anything. But you say something, and it just leads me to think of another battle that I think. Well, it's a pending battle. But
Okay.
you say that.
Yeah.
You say that. Thank you that I'm not cuckoo,
Yes.
Lord.
Yes.
That I have my own thoughts and I
Yes.
can do,
A
and I
sound
can.
mind.
I have a sound mind. I can still
Yeah.
think for myself and do for
Yeah.
myself. And I'm just thinking of the latest current thing that's happening is that even those thoughts somehow are being encroached upon. So let's chat about a new thing that's a technological advancement, and this is actually. It's good and it's bad, and maybe
Yes.
we can share about what's good and bad about it.
Okay. Yeah.
Because we're speaking about how to be current and still grateful,
Yes.
how to be current and move on with life, but be mindful of all these factors that are happening here. So we have this new thing called Chat GPT, and what it is, it's basically artificial intelligence, and what it does, it has it's advanced in in our time,
Yes.
and it has this ability to draw from a lot of inputs that is available online and give you a solution
Yes.
Yeah.
or give you or create something that wasn't. So it's really extraordinary.
Yeah.
I was sharing with the ladies just a bit earlier on that my husband played me a song, and it was a song by The Weeknd, but Michael Jackson was singing it.
Oh.
And that's not possible.
Yeah.
But somehow they have managed to integrate Michael Jackson's voice and put it in The Weeknd's song. And then the person who created this now owns the song.
Wow.
Now that's crazy.
It is.
That is so crazy. So you could have, we could have taken this answer, but at least I have my own thoughts. At least I have my own IP, my own intellectual property.
Yeah.
But now we see that, we're advancing so fast that we might actually be giving up our intellectual property, our faces,
Yes.
our voices. All those things can now be appropriated. And
It's scary. For me,
It is.
personally, it is very scary. And I think maybe it's because of my born before technology.
yeah.
So it's adapt or die, one of
Yes,
those
yes.
things. And I think last night I asked my daughter to just do something about my telephone, because what I've noticed is that Google is listening to my conversations.
Oh, because you notice the common things that are popping up on your
Common
feeds and things.
Once I've said something like, e.g., autoimmune disease.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden,
Everything
pops up about autoimmune disease.
Yeah.
My husband and I had a conversation yesterday, and I said, "Oh, I think, honey, you need a hearing aid."
Yeah.
Lo
Next
and
minute,
behold,
hearing aid specials.
hearing aid specials. This is how you can take a test for your hearing. And I said to him, and don't worry, I think I might be needing a hearing aid soon.
Yeah.
too. So, I didn't want him to feel bad. But the point that I'm making is that this device that we have so close to us is listening to our conversations.
It's
And so for me, it's like you say, the AI thing, the artificial intelligence, is just for me on another level. If I
It
don't
is on
know
another
how to-
level.
Yeah, so it's the microphone most probably that's in my phone.
Collecting the data,
Collecting
yeah.
the data. So I need to make sure my settings is correct.
That's right.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
actually
know
a good
how-
because, like you
yeah.
say, you were BBT, born before technology, but you
Yes.
still manage to keep abreast with the things, and you still have a mind to pick up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I noticed that you are mentioning things to me as my
Yes,
device, but
yes.
I'm still the boss of things here.
Right, and I don't want
still
people.
in
I want them
control.
to be on control. I don't
Yeah.
want them to tell me stuff. I want to be able to go and Google the stuff for
Yes.
myself. I
Yes,
don't want them to
yes.
listen and
Yes.
then respond.
Yeah, and I mean,
Yeah.
in Sonia's department, it becomes also quite an interesting conversation because she works in academia,
Yeah.
which means that MBA that you're studying for, you had to labor for.
Yes.
Yeah.
That research paper that you hand in, you had to work for.
Yeah.
Now, how does that put a spin on our education environment where it's like, tonight I'm gonna go home and talk to Chat GPT, and then the next morning he's gonna spit out a
Information.
nice thesis for me, and then I'm gonna
Yes.
submit it. It's like we were grateful for a lot, and then you came and you just took our thoughts and our ability
Yeah,
to create
yeah.
things. Yeah,
Absolutely. But what I want to say is, and like you said, now we're grateful for the good, the bad,
Yes.
and the ugly.
Yeah.
And AI is not something that people should be scared of.
Okay.
About ChatGPT is, if you get information there, we have a system at universities, and I know other universities have it. We call it Turn It In,
Okay.
whereby you have to submit your work on there, and then the Turn It In picked up. Okay, this is AI information that you took just from.
so Turn It In itself is a program.
As a program.
Okay.
And it picks up any similarities, it picks up plagiarism, it picks up anything that you just took and copy and paste.
Yes.
And sometimes that is when people will go back and the thesis will not be accepted because
Yeah.
they picked up, okay, your plagiarism was very high. You took everything from AI, or from ChatGPT.
Yeah.
So ChatGPT is, I know university students use it a lot nowadays, but it doesn't mean you need to take the information as it is. It doesn't take your
Ability
human
to think.
Yes,
ability
yes,
to think
yes,
away.
yes, yeah.
You still have to then paraphrase it. Hence, there's also paraphrasing tools
Yeah.
that people are not using. There's
Yeah.
Grammarly tools that people are not using. So you still have to paraphrase a thing. What we found out last week, 2 weeks ago, we had a chat in the class, and we said, okay, what GTP is doing is it just enlighten you for what you really need. It
Yeah.
doesn't say, okay, this is exactly what you need. Because
Yeah.
sometimes you can put the information there and it was not what the question was about.
Yeah. Yes.
So it just gives you enlightenment. And
So it's an acceptable research
exactly.
tool for now.
For now.
Yeah.
It's an acceptable research tool for now, but it's not there to say you can just copy and paste it.
Yeah.
Okay, I love the AI stuff because reason being also is AI is not to disadvantage us as humans. Because
Okay.
you as a human, we're still going to need you, Leanne, to program that machine
Right.
in order to do that.
Yes.
So it bring also
they
job
won't take our
creation.
jobs away.
Yes, it
Yeah.
also bring job creation.
Yeah.
And that is the scary part that society sometimes don't see it. It can just enhance work.
Yes,
Because if companies, if they had a machine that's doing jobs that was programmed by you, that machine is not taking smoke breaks.
Yeah,
That machine
yeah.
is not taking tea
Doesn't
breaks.
call in
How will it going to improve our productivity?
Yeah.
So that is all the things that we are looking at in the future world of work with all this optimization and AI.
Yeah.
If you, for instance, take with the taxi industry,
Yeah.
how they were fighting the Ubers and the Bolt.
Yes,
and
yes.
yet
Yeah.
it was something to enhance our lives.
Yeah.
It was something that creates so many jobs. I remember, I think they said Uber have created over the 10,000 jobs.
Yeah.
Wow.
From the time it was like
Yes, yes.
starting. So it gives jobs.
Yeah.
So what I want to say is we need to see it also as a point of gratitude.
Yeah.
There is students that is struggling sometimes with
Yeah.
the human capacity to figure out a question and what
Yeah.
exactly it wants. Now they put it in ChatGPT, it gives them the insight, but it doesn't mean that is the insight they needs to use because the system is going to pick it
It's
up.
like a coach, an
It's
AI
like a coach.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's
You're
cool.
so right. It's just coaching you
Yes.
for what you need, but
Yeah.
it doesn't mean you can apply it.
Yeah, and I mean, you point something out, which is really what happens. Anytime something advances, if you don't take time to understand what's happening in your socioeconomic environment, you will demonize it.
Exactly.
Uber is going to come, it's going to destroy the taxi
I
industry.
know.
Let's
I
burn the
agree with
Ubers
you.
down.
I agree with you.
I had an encounter with one of my aunts, and she's slightly senior, and she says no, she doesn't. She doesn't like doing these online things
Yeah.
because it's very close to
Yes,
the
yes.
to the Antichrist.
Oh.
It's like, so that's a first response.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our first response can sometimes be a fearful response.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then if we don't allow ourselves to kind of meander into understanding what
That's
it's
right.
about, we draw a conclusion, it becomes the way life
Yes,
is,
that's right. Yes.
and then we just close ourselves off to that.
Yeah.
But
If you-
gratitude doesn't do that.
Absolutely.
Gratitude says, let me view
Yeah,
this with a point to see what is it that it's doing.
Yeah.
Let me understand how is it that it's helping.
Right.
And so that I can use that. It's like the world is throwing us with tools.
Oh, yes.
And what we do when we pick up a tool is
Yeah.
really up to us.
Absolutely.
Are we
Yeah.
going to use it to
Yes.
extend? Are we going to use it
Yes.
to be ambassadors
Yeah.
of
That's
change?
right.
Yeah.
Or are we just going to say, this tool is not for me?
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you can take, sorry, Vi, if you can take even with the Airbnb,
Yeah.
the gratefulness just to have a house.
Yeah.
And now that we can do Airbnb is when I can have people come. Sleep over at my house
Yeah,
for one
yeah,
night,
yes.
and they can pay me, and it can help me financially,
Yes.
and it also I provide maybe a cheaper accommodation for people.
Yes.
So that is all the things, disruptive stuff
Yeah.
that have come into the
Yes,
industries,
yes.
and people just see it as, I don't want to sleep with someone in my house,
Yes,
But
yes.
if you have a need,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fear
there's a
response.
platform for
Yes.
you to able for you to do it. To have
Right.
somebody in your house
Yes.
sleep over, the person leave the following day. You
Yeah.
have make money. You have
Yeah.
provide someone with accommodation. So it's like you said, and I really love it the way you say it. It's we have all these tools and things, and we can analyze
Yeah.
whether it's going to work for us, how it's going to work for us, how
Yeah.
we're going to use it, when are we going to use it.
Yeah.
But we cannot just go and reject everything. Let me just tell you this one story in
Yeah.
Rwanda.
Yeah.
In Rwanda, there is a machine
Yeah.
that they have created in hospitals, whereby the machine will, as soon as somebody has been discharged from the hospital,
Yeah.
the machine will go into the room, and the machine will, clean the bedding
Yeah.
Wow.
of the person that has been released out of hospital, throw it into a container, zoop, up the pages. Now you see in our hospitals what happened. The nurse will take 3 hours to make a bed. They do that laken like this.
Yes.
And then the poor patient must sit there on the sides, and
yes.
so then the machine comes and do it. The patient goes back, maybe sleep
Yeah.
on the bed.
Yes.
So it didn't take jobs away from any nurse.
Yes.
It
but
gave us different jobs.
it enhanced services. It
Yes.
enhanced.
Yeah, but then the fear response is that this machine is going to take away my nurse job away.
Yeah. Exactly.
Let me go and rally all the other nurses.
Exactly.
Let's
Right.
burn down some of the
Yeah.
laundry, and But
Yes.
that's not an attitude of gratitude.
Yeah.
It's not the way to
Be
look at
thankful.
things.
You don't have to make up a bed and our
Yeah.
machine doing it.
Yes.
It's just having another perspective,
That's right.
another way
Yeah.
of looking at
So
things.
gratitude, I think, is
Yeah.
definitely a way to live.
Yes.
It's not really something that you put on. You do have moments where you
Yeah.
are grateful, like,
Yes.
I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that this happened. I'm so grateful that that happened.
Yeah.
But the truth is, it is like a value system that you almost have to embed
Yeah.
in you so
Yeah.
that you can view things with a filter of gratitude.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And when you adjust yourself that way, the world becomes a different place.
Yes.
Your eyes are open to so many different things.
Yeah.
And your spirit, I like what you say, is that, a spirit of angst or a stressful spirit,
Yeah.
it does something to your health.
Yes.
But gratitude has the same effect on
Absolutely.
your health.
Yeah.
But a positive effect.
Yes.
One where, you have much more endorphins, you have much
Right.
more serotonin.
Yes.
Because you constantly view things in a way that is pleasing to your own
So
body.
true.
That animosity and difficulty, it's they call it stress, but stress has an unhealthy effect on your body.
Yes,
to the
definitely.
extent where it puts something else out.
Yes.
It puts
Causes
out a disease.
illnesses.
It puts
Yes,
out a loss of hair. It puts
yeah.
out difficulty.
Yeah.
And that is because of what's happening on a biochemical level
Yes,
inside your
on the
body.
inside.
So gratitude, not only will it adjust your perspective, but it
Yeah.
can adjust your health.
Absolutely.
And how you flow.
That's
And when
right.
you're healthy in your body, you're healthy in your mind,
Right.
you're healthy in
Yes.
your speech,
Yes.
you receive those things that are healthy in your life.
Absolutely. I said to my daughter this morning while I was just testing on gratitude.
Yeah.
And what you said now, I basically said to her, I said gratitude is one of the best medicines that we can have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For high blood pressure, low blood pressure,
Yes.
everything.
Yeah.
It's the best medicine that we can have to heal our spiritually, physically, mentally, socially life. And that is what we need to know. It's a tool for us to help us, you know, because now you having high, your blood going up because of load shedding. Be grateful you have a roof over your head. Yes, I know it's maybe unselfish for me to say, because there's some mothers need to make bottles, some people need to make have medicines and all those kind of things. But find a little small thing just to say I'm
and
thankful
focus
for.
on that.
And gratitude doesn't compare, because we are too complex as human beings.
Yes.
And I can always maybe say your circumstances are different when I look outside and I can evaluate and say, you know what, your circumstances aren't that bad.
Right.
But it's because you deal with it better that I perceive your circumstances to be better.
Absolutely.
But the truth is that you have to look at your own context, your own circumstance, and your own dynamic, and you need to find the gratitude in that dynamic, because comparison will just remove from that. If you are grateful, you don't compare.
That's right.
Yes.
We are just too complex. There's just too many things about our lives that can never ever sync up to one another.
That's right.
Let me check if we have any of our comments that we can perhaps engage in the last 5 minutes of our show. So if you are online, sorry, we've just been chatting up a storm here on gratitude.
Yeah.
Who knew that there was so much to share?
Right.
Let me check if we have any comments that we can... Okay, let's go. I'm going to do some acknowledgements. We have Zahara Alpa. Great morning, ladies. Gail Briley, good morning, pastors. Karen Solomons, morning, pastors. Riaz Abdullah, good morning, pastors. Frida Phyllis, good morning, beautiful leaders. Let's just give an air like. We are grateful for the compliment. We are grateful.
We love you.
And she writes there, empower with skill. The ampersand. I'm of the opinion that as we brown people need to stand up and fight for our rights. We are African, and Africa is not solely black. We are diverse. We are a diverse country.
Absolutely.
Full of skilled people, irrespective of race. That is good. We have to filter our sights with one of humanity.
That's right.
But also understand that we do have responsibility towards our disenfranchised race. And Frida Phyllis continues to say, powerful, this is the time well spent. Thanks, Pastor Sonia. But it's true, we need to care for our own. Frida Phyllis is really feeling this one. Effective in areas of influence. Frida Phyllis, evenly distributed. We will continue to influence those in our immediate surroundings. Thank you for that. That is a commitment, by the way, an online commitment.
Yes, Frida is my classmate from 94.
94.
We were matric together.
Woohoo!
Love you, Frida.
Friends for life hashtag. Gail Briley, a shift towards equity is important so that we strive to allocate the exact resources and opportunities needed to reach an equal solution, an equal outcome. Frida Phyllis, alter your speech, be the solution. Bronwyn Edwards, gratitude turns what we have into enough. That is a beautiful last comment.
Wow.
Gratitude turns what we have into enough.
So true.
It
I
is.
love that one.
It is really the filter that does that. And so our time has really come to an end. And I won't be cheesy, but I want to say I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful that because you know, if you don't talk about things and you don't venerate certain things, you can keep it in your head and you can come to your own conclusions. And a mind that is so small, closed, and taken to itself can never come up with the best solution.
Absolutely.
So to talk and to venerate an issue, to allow your perspective to be influenced by people who are doing better than you, I think is just a point of wisdom.
Yeah, definitely. It's a beautiful place to learn and unlearn.
Yes, and don't sit in your, Pastor Joan likes to say, still staper. Don't get still staper. Talk about those things. And for women, it's particularly soothing and healing because that's the way we cope. We talk about things, we try and find solutions. We are really innately community driven because once upon a time we were community when we had children. It's like there's more than one of us in here. So we understand community intimately. So I'm going to just allow you to just do dispense of your last words and pearls of wisdom, and then over to Lady SS, and then I will say goodbye.
Well, I'm grateful this morning for just being able to share this platform with two beautiful ladies, very insightful ladies like yourself, Lee, and Lady S. I love you guys much. I just want to say that gratitude is pausing to notice and appreciate the things that we often take for granted. And like having food, like having a place to live, which we've mentioned, clean water, and friends and family, a computer, etc., etc. In other words, looking on the bright side of life. So if we, I think we've said it, so I'm just reiterating what we said this morning, is that when we look, like no rare tip kick, there's always something to be grateful for. So let us live with an attitude of gratitude. And I think for us that knows God and knows the Lord, He says, be anxious for nothing. But in all things, we need to just submit everything to God. We can do it in prayer. And prayer means just by talking to God, just having a conversation with Him. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, you can just call out to Him, and He's always there to help us. So yes, ladies, going forward, let us all just have an attitude of gratitude. And I think we will make life a better place. This world a better place.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to do a shout out to Pastor Joni. I'm so grateful you are my big sister. I love you.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about it. I'm so grateful for her, really. I learned so much from her.
Yeah.
And what I want to say to someone out there, take a stand for what you stand for. Don't apologize for being grateful. Don't apologize for being authentic. Don't apologize for being happy, and just to be grateful towards your family, towards your friends, towards your community, church family. But express your gratefulness. Journal it. Speaks about it. And love it.
Yes.
Hashtag. Well, I did tell you in the beginning of the show that these two are perfect choices to speak about gratitude. And I've seen it in them. I've seen it in the way they vibe, the speech on their tongues, their attitude, their general patois, I would say, reflects gratitude. And I think that they will go such a long way because of it. So if you want to follow them on social media, they are very inspirational. Please do. We have influences and second careers and vocations and passions that I think you can glean from and gain so much insight. To our host, Pastor Joan,
Joan,
loves,
we miss
and
you.
we want to see you soon. And then I'll close out with something that I believe encapsulates gratitude, and it says there, we can't complain because the rose bushes have thorns, or rejoice because the thorns have roses.
Wow.
So please be a ray of sunshine in anyone's life today, because you deserve to be a giver as much as someone else wants to receive. God bless, take care, and see you next week.
As I look upon my life, there's a passion in